Hey there, chummers, and welcome to Shadow Talk, the show that has kind of become a free-form thing where we just kind of sit back, relax, and talk about some aspect of Shadowrun and the Sixth World. Sometimes we get into some controversial topics. This week's topic I don't think is going to be very controversial, though, although it very well could be, depending on which way the discussion goes. But this week, I wanted to go ahead and talk about what are our favorite races to play in Shadowrun. Or not necessarily play in Shadowrun. If you're a GM, if you're a perpetual GM like I am in my group, what are your favorite races to build NPCs for? That can be different depending on what you like to do as a player and what you like to do as a GM. So that's definitely something to think about as well. Now, everybody, of course, is going to have their favorite race in any game, whether it's D&D, Pathfinder, whatever. Doesn't matter. You're going to have a race that you always go to time and time again, whether you like the aesthetic or you like the feel of a race on the tabletop, or you like the lore behind a race, or you just love the personality and bringing that out in your character. Whatever, doesn't matter. We all have our preferences. Shadowrun is no exception. I've got a person in my group who always plays a troll because she loves playing a big, huge, tanky street samurai, and with a troll you can make a street samurai that is essentially unkillable to just about anything unless I decide to throw a massive fire elemental at her. Then she almost dies. Yeah, I've done that a couple of times. Or an insect spirit. You know, those are even nastier as well. But I've forced myself to not use them as much when after I accidentally almost killed an entire group with a small insect spirit. So, anyway, neither here nor there, that's a subject for another video. But, yeah, she always loves playing big BV trolls. I've got another friend who loves playing dwarves in some way, shape, or form. Usually it's a rigger, sometimes he plays the decker, or he's also done just a street samurai, but he just loves dwarves for some reason. And then I got, other people in my group that they kind of vary. You got one person he plays a human just because he that's what he's a human himself, and that's what he knows, of course. He's not a big role player, so he doesn't want to get into any huge hang-ups or anything like that, so he just plays a human. I got another friend who just picks a character concept and then kind of tailors his race around that. I think currently and he loves weird combinations. Currently he's playing an orc face character who has massive charisma bonuses, but yeah, that's neither here nor there. And then I know, other people have their own preferences. My buddy over at All Ones, he's all about that trog life, of course. So everybody finds their preferences. Now, for me, on the rare occasions that I get to play a Shadowrun game, I usually play either an elf or a human. Now, as far as the human, that's a pretty simple reason for that, and it's because humans are the easiest to build, usually. When you're a human, you don't have to deal with all these bonuses and modifiers and racial minimums, maximums. You don't have to keep all that in mind. Everything is just down the board. This is what it is. This is your min and max for every single stat right here. You don't get any pluses. You don't get any modifiers unless you put in some cyberware or BioWare or adept powers or something like that. That's what you get. And it's just easier to calculate things. And a lot of times when I'm a player, I will just go the easy, because math is not my strong suit. I failed the same math class 3 times in high school. So, yeah, math is not my strong suit at all. So a lot of times I will go the easy route and just create a human. But I also like to play magic characters. Mages, shamans, adepts, that sort of thing. And I find it a lot easier to build a human mage, a human magic user, because number one, well, actually the main and only reason is because human is a lower priority if you're using the priority system, or it costs fewer build points if you're using the build point system, and that frees up more resources for other stuff later on. So as a human, I'm able to take more spells, I'm able to take more gear, I'm able to have more Nuyen on hand starting the game. I can put more into contacts or whatever I want. So that's part of my reason for playing human. Plus, it's easier playing human. It really is. Now, as far as elves go, I've always liked elves because I've always kind of been drawn to role-playing games that have a little something mysterious behind them. There's a little something extra there behind the scenes. Something that may be a little conspiratorial or something that is kind of hidden. I was very, very interested in the White Wolf games growing up, as well as Shadowrun. So Werewolf the Apocalypse. Not so much Vampire the Masquerade, although I did play Vampire a couple of times. It was fun. I enjoyed it. But my main jam with White Wolf was Werewolf the Apocalypse. And then I did get into the New World of Darkness when that came out. Ran a Changeling game, which is actually really, really fun. And I kind of regret selling all my Changeling books years ago. But, whatever. I sold them for Call of Cthulhu books. And I never ended up running a Call of Cthulhu game. So I sold all my Call of Cthulhu books. So it's kind of a waste. But anyway, it's neither here nor there. That sort of aspect of role-playing games has always intrigued me. And with elves in Shadowrun, they've got kind of that mysteriousness behind them. They've got that, they're a race that's only in the current timeline, 70 years old, maybe 80 years old, technically. But they've got this language. This fully fleshed out language that's supposedly very ancient. You've got ancient elves talking about ancient elven history and that sort of thing. Now, of course, there's immortal elves out there, and we know that Earth Dawn being a part of Shadowrun, there is an ancient hidden history in the world that does heavily feature elves and that sort of thing as well. But they've always had kind of this little bit of extra behind them, this little bit of mysteriousness, a little bit of intrigue, and that's borne out in the supplements, especially in second and third edition supplements as well. The conspiracy books, especially the threats book, it gets into the Atlanteans and ancient elves and immortal elves and that sort of thing, and I always found that intriguing. And of course, when I'm an elf, 9 times out of 10, I love magic users, so I will play a magic user. I have done an Elven Street Samurai before. It's a little bit easier to build an Elven Street Samurai than it is an Elven Mage, I think. But usually I will play a magic user because you get that little extra flavor thrown in there with it. That little bit of mysterious intrigue, like, well, there might be more to this guy than meets the eye, so... that's partly why I like playing elves. So I don't want to go on too much longer because then I'm going to start rambling. But what are your favorite races to play in Shadowrun? Or if you have one race that you love to play, what is the race that you keep coming back to time and again? Let me know in the comments section below, and we will talk about it. Chummers, I want to thank each and every one of you for watching this episode and supporting this channel. We are now up over 500 subs. We were at 515 subs the last I checked, and it absolutely blows my mind to see the level of support for Shadowrun content on YouTube. I knew it was there, and it was just something that had to be tapped into. So, again, thank you very, very much for supporting me. If you want to continue to support me, there are a bunch of ways that you can do that. First and foremost, if you liked the video, go ahead and like it. If you dislike the video, go ahead and dislike it, because either way, it's engagement and YouTube loves that. You can also go ahead and leave a comment with your opinion of this episode in the comment section below. And then go ahead and share the video around, subscribe to the channel. Every little bit helps. Another thing that you can do is you can also click on any of my social media links, or if you're feeling generous, you can click on my PayPal donation link and leave me a little tip if you want. Maybe, just maybe, I can grow this channel to the point where it can become my full-time job and I can just sit at home putting out Shadowrun content all day for each and every one of you. Once again, thank you for your support, and hopefully we can grow this channel even bigger in the future.